Imagine locking your door at night, double-checking the deadbolt, setting the alarm, convinced you're safe, only to realize the real danger is already inside. Tonight's story isn't just about a break-in. It's about a stranger who doesn't just want your things. They want you. In this terrifying true break-in story, we'll follow someone who thought they had the most secure apartment in the building. Steel door, triple locks, keypad entry. But security means nothing when the intruder knows every detail about your life, and even knows how to use your own voice to get inside. It starts small. Tiny changes in the apartment. Objects moved just a little. A rug shifted. A faint scent of lemon cleaner in the hallway. Then, the voice at the door. Their voice. The security camera footage that shows a shadow where there should be nothing. And the moment the door opens, just 2 inches, held by a chain that won't be enough to stop what's coming. This isn't a story about someone trying to steal your valuables. It's about someone learning you so well they can slip into your life, like they've always belonged there. And the most chilling part, by the time you realize the break-in has happened, it's already too late. Don't look away for a second, because once you hear the ending, you'll never trust your own front door again. Story title, The Door Only I Could Open. Part 1. Your Voice at the Door. You don't buy an apartment for the view, you buy it for the door. That's what you told yourself when you signed the lease on the 6th floor unit, with the steel security door, triple deadbolts, and a keypad that chirped like a polite robot every time you came home. The place was a rectangle of quiet. Courtyard below, laundry above, the kind of building where the hallways smelled like lemon cleaner and everyone pretended to be invisible. On your first night, you held your phone up to the peephole and recorded a video for your mother. See? Solid door. Brand new lock. You touched the keypad, and the door sang that cheerful chirp. On the clip you can hear your own laugh. You sent it. She heart-reacted. You slept like you hadn't slept in months. The first thing that goes missing is nothing. Not money, not jewelry, not a laptop, nothing. It's that nothing has moved. You leave a glass on a coaster and come back to find a faint round watermark on the wood 3 centimeters to the left, as if someone lifted the glass and set it down wrong. The rug has a bubble in it by the sofa that wasn't there that morning. The bathroom fan is off when you always leave it on to clear steam. Little wrongs that feel like static. You tell yourself it's new place nerves and try routines. Keys on the hook, shoes to the mat. Turn the deadbolt twice. Tap the keypad. Chirp. Home, you say out loud, pretending the word is heavier than it is. On day 4, the building manager tapes a note to your door about scheduled maintenance for the fire alarms. Between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., it reads, You work from home, so you keep your earbuds in and wait for the knock. At 2:43 p.m., there's one, and then another, softer. You check the peephole. No one. You open your mouth to ask, Who is it? And hear your own voice through the door speak first. Your exact tone, your fall on the last syllable. It's me, your voice says cheerfully. Forgot my key. You freeze. You look at the peephole again, but the hall is empty. You laugh, because what else do you do? And say, Not funny. You put your eye to the peephole for so long, it fogs. Nothing. When you finally unchain and open the door, the corridor is just the corridor. The red fire extinguisher. The number 6 painted a lifetime ago. The lemon cleaner smell. Quiet. You tell yourself you imagined it because you were about to nap. That night you sleep shallow. At 3:11 a.m., the keypad chirps. Not the gentle chirp it makes when you touch it, but the double chirp that means the lock has accepted a code. You sit up so fast, the room tilts. Your phone is face down on the nightstand, lighting up the wood in a sick triangle. You listen. The deadbolt thunks, deliberate, slow. Every hair on your arms stands up. You don't breathe. The door doesn't open. After 10 seconds that are really a year, the deadbolt thunks again. Locked now. Another 10. The keypad chirps once, as if to say, good night. You learn the exact pitch of your own heartbeat in that moment. In the morning, you tell yourself there is a glitch. You open the door and stare at the keypad like it might confess. You text the building manager, "Keypad made noises last night. Can someone check it?" A gray bubble appears, then disappears, then, "We'll send maintenance sometime this week." Sometime this week is not useful. You buy a door wedge, a second chain, a motion sensor, the kind you can stick in a corner and connect to your phone. You set it up with your name because there's a wobbly comfort in seeing your name on a screen. You face the tiny camera toward the door and press your palm to the steel until the cold calms you. "This is ridiculous," you say out loud. "I'm fine." That afternoon, you take a call in the bedroom. When you return to the living room, the motion sensor app says, "Movement detected. Time, 14:07. Clip available." Your throat tightens. You tap play. The clip is shaky because the sensor is cheap. The image is tilted. The door is in the frame. For 3 seconds, nothing. Then, like a stage trick, there's a shape in the bottom left corner, outside the field of focus. Something tall enough to cast a shadow across the lower half of the door. Not a person, exactly. A slice of person. The door handle bounces once. The deadbolt doesn't turn. The handle drops. The shadow disappears. You scroll back through your own call log. You were on a 40-minute Zoom with your manager. You didn't leave the room. The clip is not you. You text the building manager again. "Someone tried my door. I have a clip." This time, the gray bubble is immediate. "We'll review the hallway footage." Relief rises, thin and bright. You leave your apartment for the first time that day, walk down to the lobby, and hand over your clip like a talisman. The lobby camera shows precisely nothing. "We're short an angle on that corridor," the manager says, frowning in a way that tells you he's practiced frowning. "We'll order the missing camera." He uses "we" like a spell. You go back upstairs and stare at your door. You check every hinge. You try to laugh at yourself again, but the laugh doesn't come. You go to bed with the living room lamp on and your phone under your pillow and the motion sensor pointed like a gun. At 1:32 a.m., your phone vibrates. Movement detected. You're already awake when you see the notification. The room has been loud with silence. You tap play. The video is the same angle, the same tilted door. This time, there's sound. The sensor mic picks up the keypad's polite little chirp, and then, clear as if it's in your own mouth, your voice. "Home." You watch yourself saying it, not your face, just your voice unfolding from the speaker in the wall you never use. The deadbolt turns. The door opens 2 centimeters. The chain catches, taut. Something presses its cheek to the space and breathes a long, patient breath through the gap. The chain groans. The breath stops. The door closes. The deadbolt slides back into place. A second passes, and your voice, soft. "See you soon." You can't move for almost a minute. When you finally do, you crawl to the living room doorway and sit against the bedroom frame like a diver equalizing her ears. The air feels heavier. You dial emergency services and whisper, "Someone is trying my door." They have my voice. The operator says, calm, trained, "Stay on the line. Lock yourself in a room. Do not approach the door." You do what you're told. You slide your dresser in front of the bedroom door. It leaves a pale scar on the wood. You hear nothing from the living room. The operator stays with you, counting your breaths, telling you where the officers are, the number of minutes away. You listen like you're learning a new language, The siren outside is a blade of relief. 2 officers check the hall, the stairwell, the roof. They take your statement with careful pen strokes. One of them, a woman with tired eyes, stands at your door and makes a face at the keypad like she doesn't trust it. "Happening a lot," she says. "Speakers. They can mimic voices now. Anything you've ever recorded, social media, voicemail, someone can pull a clip, stitch your words together. The locks don't know you from your echo." You think of the video you sent your mother. "See? Solid door. Brand new lock." You picture your own laugh. "Change the code," the officer says. "Tomorrow, and the locks if you can. Until then, wedge it, chain it, drag furniture. Sleep with the TV on." You nod. The officers leave. The hallway smells like lemon cleaner again. You reset the code to something so random you have to write it down and tape it under a drawer like a coward. You wedge, you chain, you drag. You sit on the couch, too tired to keep your eyes open, too wired to sleep. At 4:06 a.m., your phone buzzes. Unknown number, a text, 3 words. Your stomach drops through the floor because you know the rhythm, the tilt of the sentence, the way you end statements like questions. "Forgot my key." You stare at the screen until the letters blur. Your hands are shaking when you text back. "Wrong number." The dots appear, then stop, then appear again. Finally, "No, right door." You stand up slowly. The keypad chirps. Once, twice. On the other side of the door, you hear your voice murmur, like a friend through a wall. "It's me." And then from your bedroom, from your own phone speaker under the pillow, you hear your voice answer your voice. "Come in." The chain lifts. Everything you own suddenly feels too light. Part 2. The person who learned your house. You don't scream. Terror is loud in movies and needles quiet in real life. It makes you precise. You move the way you move when something hot overflows on the stove. Step by step, hands out, brain clicking. You take 3 soft steps toward the living room and turn off the motion sensor camera from your phone because you know you're about to see something you won't ever unsee, and you don't want to leave a copy of it for anyone else, even for you, tomorrow. The chain is off. The door is closed. The deadbolt is thrown, but in the wrong direction. Your hands hover over the lock without touching it, because you can feel a presence like a cold palm on the other side. The peephole is just black. Not the empty hall black, body black. You back away, barefoot on a floor that suddenly remembers every grit of dust. You don't go to the bedroom. Your bedroom is compromised. You can hear your phone in there repeating the words in your voice. "Come in," on a loop, a glitch or a hack, you don't know. The sound is bait. You walk into the kitchen and put your back to the refrigerator because it is the heaviest thing you own and the most alive. It hums like a sleeping animal, and it is on your side. The next text arrives, unknown number. Don't call anyone. They won't make it in time. The kettle on your stove gleams, round, reflective. In the domed reflection, the door is a warped oval. In the oval, a sliver of black unseals into motion. The handle rotates. The deadbolt slides. The keypad chirps cheerfully, idiotically, as if this is a regular night in a regular life. Your world sharpens into 2 choices, weapon or witness. You grab the heaviest thing within reach that isn't a knife because you remember a podcast about how people who pick knives sometimes regret it, and you suspect regret is a luxury you cannot afford. Your hand closes on the cast-iron skillet hanging by the stove. It is absurdly heavy. You feel instantly stronger and deeply ridiculous. The door opens a hand's width, then a full palm, then a forearm's worth of dark. What you expect is a man, because your fear has a fixed shape. What steps through is wrong for your expectation. A figure in a zipped hoodie, Too slim for your stereotype. The shoulders narrow, the gait careful. A person who knows how to take up less space than their body allows. They slide inside with the competence of someone who has practiced on this door. They push the door with their heel until it clicks without looking back. They stand motionless for 3 breaths, letting the room tell them what was moved since the last time. Head tilted, chin lifted, the way someone listens to a distant train. Their face is a blank in the near dark, but their presence is specific. Laundry soap, peppermint gum, something like cedar. There's a key ring strapped to their wrist with a coil, bright plastic, a child's toy disguised as an adult habit. You do not recognize the person. You do recognize the coil. Maintenance wears them. Don't, you say. It comes out small. They tilt their head toward your voice as if grateful to be told what to do. Sit, they reply gently, and it is your voice, not stolen through a speaker now. Yours coming out of their mouth, sentence shape and breath, everything. They step sideways into the kitchen and point at the chair. Sit, please. The last word is yours, too, the way you make please into a cushion. You grip the skillet harder, and your hand aches. You do not sit. Take what you want, you say. The script you think might end this with the least blood. Just go. I have, they say, which is not what you meant. They make a tiny gesture like they're petting the air. The keypad chirps behind them. I've taken it all. They move to the counter, and for a stupid half-second you think they're going to pour a glass of water. They touch the motion sensor camera you thought you turned off and smile. An expression just for themselves. They press the tiny reset with a thumbnail. The sensor light dies. I know your schedule, they say conversationally. Your lunch is the same 30 minutes each day. You don't lock the bathroom door when you shower. You forget your mail until your inbox is full. Then you run downstairs, barefoot. You rewatch the same show when you're anxious. You stand at the sink when you cry. You use sugar, not honey. You write notes to yourself in the second drawer, left side, taped under the utensil tray. They open the drawer. The paper is exactly where you left it. You had forgotten you left it. They read, new code, 2961. Don't forget. Throw away, after. Their smile flickers, real now. They leave the note in the drawer. They close it carefully. How? Your voice cracks on the vowel. How did you get in? They tilt their wrist toward you, and the coil flashes. People give me keys, they say. They don't like to look me in the eye when they do it. They like to think of me as the building, not a person. I said I'd fix a leak once. I didn't. No one asked me to prove I did. They assume the building works. Their voice smooths into yours again. You assume the door works. The skillet weighs the whole of the world. You're not here to take anything, you say, like naming a shape might change it. You're here to stay, they say, and the word sits in the room and widens. I've been here. You know that. Did you like the lemon cleaner? I thought you would. I thought you'd like the smell of safety. You do. You buy it in the big bottle. The memory hits you in the stomach. Coming home on day 2 to the smelling-like hotel hallway, thinking, good, responsible building. You didn't think, that's my brand of cleaner. You didn't think, why does it smell like my kitchen in here? You've been copying me, you say dumbly. You've been learning. The word you want is wrong. You are wrong. I've been practicing, they say, pleased. They tap their jaw, where a patch the size of a coin sits, almost invisible, a skin-colored sticker with a bevel. A throat mic, not expensive, not rare. You talk to your mother. You talk to your friends. You talk to yourself. Everyone is a library now. You left so much of your voice outside the door, it would have been rude not to bring it in. Why my door? Your voice is a thread. Their eyes finally meet yours. When they speak, the voice shifts again. Not yours this time, not anyone you know. Flat, unaccented, their own. You understand with a shock deeper than fear. Because you're careful, they say. Because careful people make maps. You live like a person who expects to be followed, and that's a kindness. They shrug. I hate being lost. The room tilts. You see then what doesn't fit in the picture. The baseboard by the hall closet, a little shy of the wall, a crescent of gap where a hand could slide something thin and clever. You see the rug's bubble by the sofa, the one you smoothed 3 times, that hides a slit barely wider than a finger where someone once rolled back a corner and forgot to press it flat. You see the tiny dot of lemon cleaner dried high on the doorframe, too high for you. Not mistakes, breadcrumbs. They've been leaving themselves a way back. I called the police, you say. It's not true. You called them last time. You didn't this time. You're ashamed of the lie because it's so small and so slow. I know, they say, kindly. You do what careful people do. Their voice slips into yours again, like a glove. You'll do it again after I leave. Leave, you say, heart on fire. Now. They consider. The peppermint brightens in the air as they chew, patient. They take 1 step toward you, then stop because you lift the skillet a fraction. Their palm uncurls, empty. They means it. No knife, no gun. Their weapon is knowledge, and your door. They nod, as if to show you they can obey. They step backward toward the entry. You won't see me again, they say, in their own voice. I'll have a new building to learn next week. I'll miss this door. They put their hand on it, like a person might put their hand on a shoulder. The gesture is disturbingly tender. Then they say, very softly, in the voice you only use when you speak into your pillow, certain no one is listening, a voice no public recording could have caught. You left when you were 12. You didn't say goodbye. It wasn't your fault. Your fingers go numb. The skillet dips, clanging against the stove with a noise that feels like a gunshot in the quiet. Your breath is suddenly ragged, not from fear, from memory cored out like an apple. You see a door that isn't this door, and a voice you've been dodging all your life. You are stripped of your present. How do you begin. But the question is a dead bird. They open the door. The hallway yawns lemon and shadow. They step out, and without turning back, pull it closed until the latch catches, and the deadbolt politely accepts a code you never gave to anyone. Chirp. Chirp. You run too late. You fling the door open, and the hall is a scissored strip of nothing. The red fire extinguisher, the painted 6, the smell of cleaner. You look right, left. No footsteps, no elevator hum, no coil shine. Just that wedge of wrong in your baseboard, that slit in your rug, that note in your drawer that is now missing. You don't sleep for 2 days. You change the locks. You throw away the keypad, the chain, the wedge, the motion sensor. You call a locksmith who speaks like a priest. He installs a lock with a key that is not copyable, he says, and you pretend you believe him. You nail the baseboard flush. You move the rug, burn it in your head if not in real life. You repaint the door frame and anchor your world in wet white. Your mother calls. How's the new place? She asks brightly, and you almost tell her the truth. Instead, you say the thing careful people say. Home. You try to make the word heavier. That night, the new lock is so quiet you don't hear it. You only see the proof in the morning. 4 wet crescents on the mat, where someone stood with damp shoes, patiently. On the door at eye level, A post-it note in your handwriting that you did not write. It says, "The door works." You press your forehead to the steel and laugh once, a single, startled bark that is almost a sob. You memorize the words you will tell anyone who asks, the words that will make this story survivable and shareable and true enough. You'll say, "It was a break-in." You'll say, "No one was hurt." You'll say, "Locks are lies." You'll say, "I was careful." You will not say, "The worst part wasn't that they got in." You will not say, "The worst part was that it felt, for a moment, like someone finally knew the map you've been carrying in your head since you were 12, and it was a relief." Weeks pass. You buy a doorbell that records without the cloud. You keep your voice off the internet. You say please less often. You learn to vary your schedule and forget on purpose. You stop calling your mother from the hallway. You don't tell this story until now. You keep the post-it folded in your wallet like a scar. On a Sunday morning in a different season, you stand at your door with groceries and hear the neighbor across the hall say, muffled, "It's me, forgot my key." The voice is wrong and exactly right. Your head turns so fast you nearly drop the bag. The door opposite opens a hand's width, then a palm, then an arm. The chain catches. A long, patient breath gusts through the gap. You watch the scene like a person looking across a river at the shore they just left. You do nothing. You learn the shape of the coil on the wrist of the person in the hoodie. You memorize the smell. Lemon, peppermint, cedar. Your heart goes quiet in a way that has nothing to do with peace. You think, they kept their promise. You won't see them again. You think, that was never the promise. The grocery bag tears. Apples roll across your mat like small red hearts. You bend to catch them, and when you stand, the corridor is empty. You lock your door and say, to no one, to yourself, to the door, to the echo living in the metal, home. The lock chirps, gentle and pleased. You don't laugh. And that was the story of the door only I could open. It's one thing to hear about a stranger breaking into someone's home, but it's something else entirely to realize they didn't need to force their way in. They were invited, in a way you never saw coming. Locks, alarms, cameras, they're all meant to protect us. But what happens when the real threat knows how to walk right past them without making a sound? Stories like this remind us that sometimes the scariest break-ins aren't about stealing what you own. They're about stealing the feeling that you're safe. And once that's gone, it's almost impossible to get it back. So tonight, before you go to sleep, you might check your locks an extra time. You might look at your door just a little differently, and you might wonder, has someone else already learned how to open it? If you enjoyed this story and want more true, terrifying tales like it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. And in the comments, tell me, what's your biggest fear when it comes to someone breaking in? Until next time, stay safe if you still can.